I'm producing this little video for you that's going to talk about the programme that I'm leading for Durrington Research School in 2021, which is focused on evidence-informed behaviour and attendance improvement. Now, the programme itself runs across 3 central days, and as you can see on the screen, they are the 2nd of February 2021, 29th of April and the 17th of June. Whilst those are the 3 central days, there'll be a range of activities in between, including your planning time, to help you really gain the most from the course. In terms of target audience, we really are focusing the course on senior leaders with a responsibility for behaviour and/or attendance in schools. I think one of the key things is that people who attend the course need to be able to feel that they can go back, make decisions, plan for change. And so what we'll really be looking for is those people that have that responsibility in their own school and in their own setting. There'll very much be a blended focus on each day. So part will be attendance and part will be behaviour. Now, I wanted just to say a little bit about the work of research schools for those people that aren't so familiar. What we don't do is do the research ourselves, but what our role is working closely with the EF to really take the essence and the messages from the academic research and take those messages and say, basically, how can we apply them within school settings? There's a huge amount of academic research, but really what this sort of central role we do is to distill that down into meaningful and useful chunks that leaders can access easily, quickly, and really consider how it can make a difference in their setting and for their young people. So again, as you would expect, the actual training programme is built around the research evidence. Very much central to that is about you as an attendee identifying your particular focus. And I wanted to stress at this stage, this isn't about the rollout of general information. It's about you finding a focus in your school, you exploring the evidence with us and us helping you to do that. And then you working out how best to plan for change and giving the change you want to achieve the best possible chance of success. So whilst all the programs we deliver follow this structure, I wanted to really reassure you it's about changing your context and your setting. And that is particularly important when we're talking about behaviour and attendance, because schools are so different in very, very many ways. So if we look at the objectives of this particular programme, first of all, we want to get a good grounding in the evidence behind effective behaviour management strategies that can be used in schools, and in a similar way to those that can be used to improve attendance. What we'll then do is review the current approaches, and that may be in your own school setting or more generally, and use this review to come up with a plan about what it is you want to change or identify a specific area that you want or you need to change in your own context. As we then move through the course, it'll be deciding what evidence is most useful and using that to plan for change. And you can see this word on the screen, implementation plan, because that is a vital part of how we can affect change and do that really well. As with anything, it's really important that we build in with your plan how and when you'll evaluate, and also how then you'll make sure that the change is sustained. So that's a brief summary of the objectives of the programme. Another thing I think we recognise in this unique situation is that much of the good work that schools do day in, day out has been perhaps lost, we're worried about, due to this extended gap of not seeing the students. Never before have we had a 6-month gap in effect between students leaving school and coming back to school. And so we recognise it will take time and there will perhaps be new challenges as larger numbers of students return. The programme we're going to work with you on is about establishing change, and actually, whatever the situation you find yourself in, we have a responsibility to change and improve, and we hope that you will find this programme useful in that context. So I wanted to say a little bit about the exact structure and elements of the programme. So broadly speaking, day one, obviously getting to know us getting to know you. Really then to start to look at some of the evidence look at the drivers for pupil behaviour and some of the research that is out there that perhaps has the best evidence behind it for changing student behaviour and also changing student attendance. Day 2 explores that in a little bit more detail, but in day 2 we also start to begin the idea of shaping what you want to change and how you're going to go about doing that. And so there'll be the introduction to this idea of implementation planning and how best to take that forward for the best chance of success. Day 3 is pulling this all together, working with us to develop your plan, and then really getting set to implement the plan you're setting. Now, you may think, okay, so those are 3 days, but actually there'll be a lot of support and a lot of options for further information between those set days. As you can see on the screen, there's the potential for network meetings, audits. I will certainly be available as a sounding board. But basically, it's a combined piece of work between us and with you to help you achieve the very best you can. That's really, really important. It's not 3 isolated days. It's a course over a period of time where we work and support with you to affect change in your context and setting. Now, the final thing I wanted to say to you was about this word implementation. For anyone that's not familiar with it, implementation is actually an area that's been studied, perhaps more commonly outside of education. However, the EF have really brought this to the fore, and the implementation planning document is one of the most powerful documents they have summarised specifically in the context of schools to really help us make the biggest success of any changes we're planning. So very much part of our attendance and behaviour course will look at what is it about implementation, what is it that gives us the best chance of succeeding with any change. And you can see on the screen here that that's structured through a model in itself. And we will talk about that and we will co-plan with you, really to give you and your strategies, your choice of strategy, the best chance of success. Now, that pretty much summarises the content and the information that's going to be covered in the programme. There's a little bit of information on the screen about booking now, and I've also put on there my email should you have any further questions. So that's us. That's the Improving Behaviour and Attendance programme, and I look forward to seeing you and meeting you should you choose to book on. Goodbye.